What's going on YouTube? This is Jabber Tech, and today I just want to do a quick video comparison between these two watches from Samsung. The one on my left is the brand new Galaxy Watch 3, which is a $429 watch. The one on my right here is Samsung's last generation Galaxy Watch 46mm, which retails for about $279, but believe it or not, if you check my link for Swappa, this is going for about $100 in like new condition. In the box, this is going for about $150 brand new on Swappa. If you really want to get a great smartwatch and you don't want to spend close to $500, trust me, I know that feeling. At $100 or $150, you can't go wrong with the Galaxy Watch 46mm. And that's why I kind of wanted to do this review. I kind of wanted to give you guys a quick comparison between these two to let you know if the extra $400 is worth it for the latest generation, or if spending $100 will be perfect for you guys. But let's go ahead, talk about some key specifications between both of these watches, because believe it or not, they're pretty much very similar in more ways than not. Starting with the Galaxy Watch 3 here, it has a very nice 1.4 inch panel. That's up from the 1.3 inch on the 46mm from the last generation. It's 45mm, that's down from 46mm, but that's just because they've made it an overall thinner watch. The design is much thinner. You can see that if we look at the bottom here on both of these watches, that hump is gone from the 46mm. Putting the Watch 3 on my wrist, you can see it sits a lot flush, a lot flatter on your wrist versus last year's model, which I'll show you in just a second. Now the watch bands here are replaceable. I put a nice canvas band on this watch. They do ship it with this kind of weird, I don't know, kind of weird leather kind of band. I'm not super happy with this band, so I swapped it out really quickly. I would have liked to have seen Samsung's rubber silicone strap included in the box, especially for this price point, but it is what it is. I think that they really should have included two watch bands. That's just my opinion overall. The rotating bezel is still here, so you can quickly go ahead and scroll through, see all of your notifications. If you have any messages, scroll into the left is where you'll see messages with actual pictures. So I like the ability to see all the multimedia that comes through in a text message. I have this paired with my Pixel 4a. It does work with any Android phone. It does work with iOS devices, but you will be limited. So I really recommend you pair this up with an Android phone. If you have a Samsung phone, that's even better because you don't have to go through the entire install of pretty much including like 10 different plugins and whatnot just to get this watch to function. But it is Android. We do need some plugins, so at least it works. I'm happy with that. And the overall design, if we take a look at the design between these two watches, they really changed it up a little bit. You had the two-toned action from 46mm. Now they do offer the Watch 3 in a silver. I opted for all black just because I think this looks a lot better than having a two-toned watch, but that's all preference. It really depends on what you guys like. Now putting the 46mm on, you see that it will sit just a little bit higher on my wrist. Again, is that worth $400 more to get a thinner watch? That's up to you and your budget, but it is a very nice watch. I do think this is a very attractive watch. It actually feels a little bit more sturdy in my opinion. That's just because I think Samsung was trying to go more for a watch that will fit better with a suit, designed to be worn when you go to a fancy dinner party versus something like the Galaxy Watch 46mm, which you can really tell is a smartwatch just from the overall design. But again, that's all about preference. That's all about your likes and your needs. Now this does have a 1.3 inch panel on it. Even though it is 46mm, it only has a 1.3 inch screen, so they beefed it up on this year's model. Now the processor on both of these watches, believe it or not, is exactly the same, so you're spending more to get the same. It's the Exynos 9110 clocked at 1.15 gigahertz. Now, is that a huge deal? Honestly, in everyday usage, it's not a huge deal because the Tizen software on these watches is really optimized for that chipset. I just would have liked to have seen a little bit of a boost in processing power, especially given this price point, but it is what it is, and they did include extra RAM and they did include extra storage. So on the Watch 3, we get 1 GB of RAM, which is up from the 768 on last generation, and we get 8 GB of storage to store your music on, store your apps, whatever you want to store on here, versus 4 GB on the 46mm. So we get boosted RAM, boosted storage, but the same processor. And we also get a little bit of a bigger screen. Now just taking a look at the overall design once again, I'm not a huge fan of this button layout just because I think it looks kind of weird having this bump on the side. Looks a little bit weird versus what they did last year. They kind of kept it flush and gave us some flat buttons, and just the overall design looks a lot better in my opinion. Again, it's all about preference. It's all about what you think looks better for you. But I think that flush buttons would have been a little bit nicer on the Galaxy Watch 3. Just like the 22mm bands here, swap it out to suit your style, swap it out for your own preference. That goes the same with watches. There's so many watches to choose from, not only from Samsung. Just choose the watch that you think looks nice. Just choose the watch that you're going to enjoy using every day. Now, both of these watches do have a speaker. Both of these watches, you can receive phone calls, you can dictate messages. So just take a listen. I think the speaker's been a little bit improved on the Watch 3. It seems to be a little bit louder. But again, speakers in everyday usage, if you're out on the street, at least here in New York City, it's kind of hard to tell what the person's saying without putting this close to your ears. But if you're at home washing dishes, if you're at home on the couch and your phone's back charging in another room, the speaker, trust me guys, is an awesome addition, and I think every smartwatch should have a speaker and a microphone. It just makes it really easy, again, just to reply to text messages or just to answer that phone call while you're on the couch. Now, speaking of assistants, we do have Bixby on both of these watches, unfortunately, and you can install Google Assistant if you want to. If you want to get nitty-gritty and kind of take those necessary steps, you can install the Google Assistant. But Bixby's here on both of these watches, and I usually turn her off, to be honest with you. She's not very functional. She actually kind of sucks. I wish Samsung would just put the Google Assistant and get it over with. Nobody really uses Bixby. If you're one of those people that does, I don't even know what to tell you. But Bixby's here, and you can just say, "Hi, Bixby." And usually she will open up and answer all of your questions if she knows what the answer is, which most times, rather than not, she doesn't really know the answers. Who's the President of the United States?
I didn't understand that.
What's the weather in New York City today?
Today in New York, it is cloudy with a high of 84 degrees and a low of 70 degrees.
So as you can tell, she can answer basic questions. Hi, Bixby. Where's the closest Starbucks?
There aren't any navigation capsules available.
What's the capital of Tennessee?
I didn't understand that.
What's the capital of Delaware?
I didn't understand that.
So Bixby, as you can see, is not really all that functional. She can tell you the weather, and that's basically it. But enough about Bixby. You can see that opening up applications, thanks to that extra RAM in the Galaxy Watch 3, is slightly faster. Let's see if we can open up another app just for you guys to see here. So it is slightly faster. You saw that there. Is that worth $400? Again, that's really up to you. Both of these watches have all the premium features that you'd expect, so we do have a nice IP rating, 5 ATM on both of these watches. We also get Samsung Pay for mobile payments. We also get a beautiful, again, touch panel with an AMOLED screen that's super bright. I never had any problems with this in direct sunlight. There's also a watch battery saving mode, so you can extend this to up to 30 days if you basically just show the time. Speaking of the battery life, that's one place that Samsung kind of dropped the ball in my opinion. The 46mm had a very large 472 milliamp hour battery, whereas the brand new Galaxy Watch 3 has a 340 milliamp hour battery, and that's where the differences really can be seen in both of these watches. The Galaxy Watch 46mm, even after all this time, I still am able to get about 3 days with light usage. I have no problems with this battery life. I can really push it to, I'd say, about 4 if I absolutely am a couch potato, which I have been lately. I'm not gonna lie, I've been indoors quite a bit over the past couple of months, and I was shocked to see that this battery really can still perform over all this time. And the Galaxy Watch 3, honestly, if you're a couch potato, the most you can expect is 2 days on this watch. Typically, it's about a day and a half, and if you do some GPS activities, if you are a pretty active person, expect to charge this up every night, and I am a little bit disappointed about that, especially again at this price point. I would have liked to see Samsung kind of squeeze a little bit more juice somehow into this watch, but both of these watches do charge up with wireless charging, so it isn't a problem at all. It's very simple to just plop these on a charger at the end of the day and, well, kind of charge them up. but they do take a super long time to charge. Both of these watches will take about 2 hours to charge, and in my honest opinion, guys, that's too long for a smartwatch. A lot of smartwatches these days are including some type of quick charge capabilities, where you can plop it on for 15 or 20 minutes and basically get a ton of juice to make it through the entire day. But Samsung didn't do that. It is what it is, so expect about a day and a half to 3 days, maybe 2 if you really push the Galaxy Watch 46mm. One major disappointment with the Galaxy Watch 3, and that might be a reason for you guys to kind of save some money, buy a $100 watch right now, resell it when these features are enabled, and then buy the Galaxy Watch 3 when it's on sale. Because honestly, at $429, unless you really must have the latest and greatest, and one could argue this might not be the greatest when you compare certain features, $429 is a little bit steep. I would wait for this to go on sale personally. But if it's your first time buying a smartwatch and you're super excited, there's no reason not to buy the Galaxy Watch 3. It's a very nice watch, a very capable watch. Now, I'm not really going to go over activity tracking with these because I've done full reviews on both of these watches. I'll leave that down in the comments below. But let's just say that the Watch 3 is definitely greatly improved. Step tracking might be a little bit of an issue, and the heart rate monitor for some people might be a little bit of an issue. But what I have issue with at the time of this recording is that some of the main features that were the selling point of this watch are not available just yet here in the US. That's the ECG, the EKG feature is not available here in the USA. We do have the blood oxygen sensor available on the Galaxy Watch 3. That was enabled about a week ago. So that's one thing I will say. If you really wanted to buy this watch for the ECG, don't buy it now because, well, it's not available just yet. And by the time Samsung pushes an update for it, it could be months, and this could definitely be on sale by then. Holidays are right around the corner. We all know that these watches go on sale during the holidays. Just wait around, and maybe that $100 difference bought you a second watch anyway. That's just something I could recommend, guys. But for the everyday tracking, the everyday person, I think both of these watches do fine with the heart rate monitors on both of these watches. In terms of activity tracking, Samsung does a decent job with activity tracking, and you can track basically everything that you would want to on both of these watches. The software is basically identical, a few little tweaks on the new watch of course, but in terms of accuracy, I have had problems with Samsung watches in the past with their accuracy, but I can say that the Watch 3 has been greatly improved, and the GPS track-on ability is one of the fastest that I've seen. This locks on a GPS super fast. We finally get our VO2 max, and that's something that I gave Samsung a lot of heat for with their Active Watch 2, because they had an active watch and it really didn't give you any active metrics that we'd expect on an active device. But this is, of course, their fancier Galaxy Watch 3, and we do get the VO2 max, so the more you kind of work out for it, the more it'll give you some more metrics, and I'm definitely happy with that. And for most people, for the average person, I think both of these watches are just fine for activity tracking. If you want a beautiful looking watch, Samsung is the way to go, and if you want a fitness watch that doesn't look all that great but actually tracks really well, there are other options for you as well. Again, there's so many watches, fitness and smart in this market. You need to decide what works for you, what's best for you, but I can say that the Watch 3 or the 46mm is going to be able to track what you need it to track. One thing that hasn't changed is app support. Don't expect a ton of apps on your Galaxy watches. That's just Tizen, and that's just how it is right now. They mustn't be giving developers really an incentive to make apps for their platform. Even though the Galaxy Watch, even though Tizen is number 2 in the wearable market right now, I guess they just don't think that it's lucrative enough to design apps. Do we need a ton of apps on our wrist? No, but when we want them, the chances are they're not going to be on the Galaxy Tizen platform. That's just a shame. I would like to see maybe TinyCam or something like that where I could just view my security cameras if I needed to in a hurry. I would like to kind of have that integration with Google products, for Google Maps, for Waze, even for the Google Assistant to turn on my lights, to do whatever, have it integrated directly into the watch from Samsung. But app support's not here. That's what I've been complaining about for years, and unfortunately it's still the same. One quick note about music playback on the watch: you can transfer your tracks from your phone directly to the watch, connect a Bluetooth headphone if you want to, pair it up, and then you can go for your run, you can go for your walk, all without having your phone. With Samsung Pay, you can pay for your smoothie or beer or whatever it is after your run directly from your watch. So that's a huge plus. But in terms of music apps, once again, we're circling back to apps. We don't have YouTube Music. We don't have Pandora that can stream or download directly to the watch either. They did strike a deal with Spotify, so if you want to use Spotify, you can go ahead, download Spotify to your watch, and then you can download your playlist if you have a premium account. But I canceled my premium account with them, and I'm all about YouTube Music, so I cannot download my favorite track list down to my watch directly. Again, at $429, I think Samsung should give users the choice. Samsung should really just let us use what we want to use. Anyone that likes to track their sleep, you can track your sleep with these watches. So the end of this video, guys, I hope this kind of helped you out to decide which one might be better for you and might be better for your wallet. But I can tell you, no matter which one you choose, you're going to be really happy with. Both of these watches are excellent. It really just depends on the styling. It really just depends if you like the latest and greatest tech on your wrist. It really just depends if you want that new ECG feature whenever it's released on the Galaxy Watch 3. When that is released, this might be a much better option for you guys. But I can tell you as of right now, they're both excellent watches. They're both pretty much the same at this point. But at the price of $100, it's kind of a no-brainer where I come from. It's kind of a no-brainer to choose the 46 millimeter. But again, everyone's budget's different. Everyone's needs are different. If you must have the latest and greatest, the Watch 3 is a very, very nice watch. A very capable watch at that. And then once those features, the ECG is finally released, this is going to be a much better option for a lot of people. And of course, the styling might appeal to you more than the 46 millimeter. No matter which one you choose, guys, I think you're going to be really happy with them. Just know the limitations of the Tizen software. And once you know that, you'll be good to go. Did you have the 46 millimeter and decided to upgrade? Were you looking at the Watch 3 and then you decided, well, the Galaxy Watch 46 millimeter is probably a better option for me, a much better option for my wallet? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. I always appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Basically the same software in both of them, just a few tweaks on the newest model, of course, but really it's...
Start with a few warm-up exercises.